India Part 2. The Battle of Buxar took place in 1764. It was fought between the English East India Company on one side and the combined army of Nawab Mir Qasim of Bengal, Nawab Sirajud-Dawla of Awadh. Here we have, Nawab Shuja'ud-Dawla of Awadh and Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II on the other. The English East India Company won the battle. In spite of so many people combined and fought with English East India Company, but still the English people won because they had huge weapons. The battles of Plassey and Buxar proved turning points in Indian history. The English East India Company's trade interest spread from three coastal areas of Kolkata, Bombay and Madras. By 1765, the English East India Company took control of Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. Nawabs of Awadh and Carnatic became dependent on them. This paved the way for the British to become colonial rulers of India. That means almost they were controlling all parts of India. The English East India Company expanded its power. Many regional powers opposed the English. The English East India Company fought 4 Anglo-Mysore wars with Hyder Ali and his son Tipu Sultan between 1767 and 1799. Tipu Sultan died defending his capital Srirangapatnam in modern-day Karnataka. The British fought 3 wars against the Marathas in western and central India. They also battled with the Sikhs in the 2 Anglo-Sikh wars in northwest India. That means Britishers started fighting with all parts of India, even in the south and the middle India. But still they defeated so many kings and they started winning over their dynasty or their kingdoms. Policies of British. What were their policies? There were 2 policies. First one is subsidiary alliance. It was introduced by Richard Wellesley, the Governor General of India from 1798 to 1805 to ban the Indian rulers from keeping their own armies. So under subsidiary alliance, the Britishers said that Indian rulers should not have their army. It is only the Britishers who will provide the armies. They were forced to maintain British troops, give up their control over foreign affairs and were banned from entering into alliances with foreign rivals of Britain. So whoever were the enemies of Britain, Indian kings should not be friendly with them. These were the rules which were made by the English East India Company. Next, doctrine of lapse. It was started by Lord Dalhousie, the Governor General of India from 1848 to 1856, to bring all those Indian kingdoms where the rulers died without leaving a natural heir to the throne under British control. That means a king, a ruler who did not have their own son. Okay. If the ruler dies, that property or that kingdom will go directly under the British government. Okay. So that was the rule which was in doctrine of lapse. This order banned the adopted sons from inheriting the property or the pension that was granted to the rulers by the British. Now if the kings did not have children, they used to adopt the children. Okay. But those adopted sons were never given any authority, okay, and they were not even given the pension which the Britishers used to give to the real sons of the kings. The revolt of 1857. Many sections of the Indian society comprising soldiers, farmers, craftspeople, noble scholars and others suffered as a result of British policies. Many of them protested against the British in different parts of India. So many Indians did not like the policies of Britishers. In Indian the Indian soldiers of British regiment known as sepoys were unhappy because they were paid less for the work that they did. So under British army there were a group of Indians also who were soldiers and they were called as the sepoy. Now why were these sepoy angry with the Britishers? Because they were paid less comparing to the British people, soldiers. Okay, comparing to British soldiers, the Indian sepoys were paid less. This and many other causes led to the revolt of 1857, also known as the Sepoy Mutiny or the First War of Independence. So revolt of 1857 was the first war of Indian independence. It was the first organized protest against the British. Otherwise, the Indians were very scared of the Britishers. Now, why did the Indians protest against the British? The reason was the introduction of the Enfield rifle became the cause for the revolt. The cartridges of these rifles, which had to be bitten off for using, were rumored to be greased with fat of cows and pigs. So the Britishers, they introduced a Enfield rifle, okay, or you can say it as a gun. Now the cartridge of this rifle has to be pulled by the sepoys with their mouth. Now there was a rumor spread. What was the rumor? That these cartridges, which the soldiers have to pull with their mouth, were greased with fat of cows and pigs. Now why were the Indian soldiers angry? Because fat of cows they were having religious feeling for this, because Indian sepoys who were Hindus were not eating the fat of the cow. Okay, and the pigs. Why pigs they were angry with? The Muslim soldiers who were in the British group, they were angry because this also hurt the sentiments of the Muslims, because they considered that pigs were unclean. They will not eat the pigs. So that's why Hindus and Muslims were going against the Britishers. In Bharatpur, a young sepoy, Mangal Pandey refused to use the cartridges and was executed. Some days later, the sepoys at Meerut refused to use the new cartridges, for which many were dismissed from the service. In response, the other soldiers shot down many British officers and marched to Delhi on 10th May 1857. They declared the Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah Zafar II, also known as Bahadur Shah Zafar, as their leader. The unrest which started at Meerut spread to many parts of northern India. Patna borders of Rajasthan, Kanpur, Lucknow, Bareilly, Jhansi, Gwalior and Ara. So here then the important leaders of the revolt were Begum Hazrat Mahal of Lucknow, Nana Sahib Tantya Topi of Kanpur, Rani Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi and Kunwar Singh of Bihar. So far the British had no troops in Delhi. Soon the British army arrived, defeated the protesters and reoccupied Delhi in September 1857. Thousands of innocent people were killed. Bahadur Shah Zafar II was sent to prison in Rangoon, where he died in 1862. His sons were killed and the Mughal dynasty ended. So the last Mughal emperor was Bahadur Shah Zafar, who was arrested by the Britishers and he was sent to prison where in Rangoon. And in Rangoon jail he died, and he had two sons. So these two sons also were killed by the Britishers, so that the whole Mughal emperor will come to an end. So in this way the Mughal dynasty ended. Then the revolt of 1857 failed, as it did not have a strong leadership, planning, money or arms. The revolt was a turning point in this period, as the control of East India Company came to an end. India came under the rule of British Crown. Queen Victoria in 1858, her rule was to be carried out through viceroys.